Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about something that completely changed my life. How I managed to cut my expenses by a whopping 60% without feeling like I was missing out on anything. Sounds impossible, right? Trust me, I thought so too. But stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll walk you through the exact steps I took, step by step. Before we dive in, let's get real for a second. I used to be stuck in that cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. My bank account would look healthy for about 2 days after payday, and then, poof, it was a constant source of stress. I felt like I was working so hard just to tread water. The idea of saving, investing, or even taking a guilt-free vacation felt like a distant dream. I knew something had to change, but the thought of extreme budgeting, giving up my morning coffee, never eating out, saying no to everything fun, just made me feel depressed. That wasn't the life I wanted either. The big aha moment for me was realizing that it's not about deprivation, it's about intentionality. It's not about cutting everything, but about cutting the right things, the things that don't actually bring you that much joy. The first and most crucial step I took was a spending audit. I know, it sounds boring, but this is the foundation for everything. I took 1 month, just 1 month, and tracked every single dollar. I used a simple app, but a notebook works just as well. I didn't judge myself, I just gathered the data. At the end of the month, I sat down and looked at where my money was really going. And honestly, I was shocked. The numbers were staring back at me in black and white. It wasn't the big purchases that were killing my budget, it was the little things. The daily $5 latte, the $15 lunch I grabbed because I didn't pack one, the multiple streaming subscriptions I barely used, the random Amazon purchases I'd forgotten I even ordered. These spending leaks were adding up to hundreds of dollars every month. Seeing it all laid out like that was the wake-up call I needed. It showed me exactly where the fat was, and it was surprisingly easy to trim. So, let's talk about the big 3 expenses, because this is where you get the most bang for your buck. Housing, transportation, and food. For housing, I was living alone in a trendy part of town. It was nice, but was it hundreds of extra dollars a month nice? When my lease was up, I made a change. I didn't move to a bad area, but I moved to a slightly less hip neighborhood that was just a 10-minute drive away. The apartment was just as good, but my rent dropped by 25%. If moving isn't an option, consider getting a roommate or even looking into house hacking. It's a huge change, but it makes a massive impact. Next up, transportation. My car was my second biggest expense after rent. Car payments, insurance, gas, maintenance. It was a money pit. I did a cost analysis and realized that since I worked from home most days, I was barely using it. So I made a bold move. I sold my car. I know this isn't possible for everyone, but hear me out. I started using a combination of public transport, my trusty bicycle for local trips, and the occasional rideshare for when I really needed it. The result? I saved over $400 a month, instantly. If selling your car is too extreme, consider downsizing to a more fuel-efficient vehicle, carpooling, or simply committing to using it less. Now for the one everyone struggles with, food. My food bill was out of control. Between dining out, ordering delivery, and impulse grocery buys, it was a disaster. The game changer for me was meal prepping. I started dedicating 2 hours every Sunday to plan and prep my lunches and some dinners for the week. This did 2 things. First, it eliminated the "I'm too tired to cook" excuse that led to expensive takeout. Second, it meant my grocery trips became super focused. I went in with a list and bought only what I needed for my pre-planned meals. I still budget for eating out with friends once or twice a week, so I don't feel deprived. It's about planning for joy, not eliminating it. This one change alone cut my food spending in half. Okay, so we've covered the big stuff. Now let's get into the lifestyle creep expenses. The little things that add up. I call this the subscription purge. I went through my bank statements and listed every single recurring payment. Streaming services, gym memberships, subscription boxes, software I didn't use anymore. I was ruthless. If I hadn't used it in the last month, it got canceled. For the streaming services, I decided to keep only one at a time. I'll subscribe to one for a few months, binge what I want to see, then cancel it and switch to another. You'd be amazed how much you can save. For the gym, I realized I preferred running outside and doing bodyweight exercises at home, so that membership went too. It's all about asking, Am I truly getting value from this? Another huge mindset shift was embracing the 72-hour rule for non-essential purchases. Anytime I wanted to buy something that wasn't a necessity, a new gadget, a piece of clothing, whatever, I'd put it in my online shopping cart or write it down, and then I'd wait for 72 hours. 3 full days. More often than not, by the time the 72 hours were up, the initial impulse was gone. I'd realize I didn't really need it or even want it that badly. This simple trick has saved me from so much mindless spending and buyer's remorse. It trains your brain to move from impulsive consumption to thoughtful purchasing. But what about fun? What about your social life? This is where people think frugality means becoming a hermit. Absolutely not. It's about finding cheaper or even free ways to have fun. Instead of meeting friends for expensive dinners and drinks, we started doing potlucks at home, going for hikes, having board game nights, or checking out free community events and concerts in the park. The focus shifted from spending money together to just spending time together. And honestly, our friendships got stronger because we were having more genuine, quality interactions that weren't centered around a transaction. You'll find that your true friends are happy to hang out with you, no matter what the activity is. So, let's recap the core strategy. It's a 3-pronged attack. First, audit your spending to see where your money is actually going. Knowledge is power. Second, attack the big 3: housing, transportation, and food. Making even small optimizations here will yield huge results. Third, be intentional with your lifestyle spending. Purge unused subscriptions, practice the 72-hour rule for purchases, and find creative, low-cost ways to socialize and have fun. The result of all this? I cut my monthly expenses by 60%. But more importantly, I've never felt more financially secure or in control. The stress is gone. I'm now able to save and invest over half of my income every month. That feeling of freedom is worth more than any impulse purchase I ever made. It's not about being broke. It's about being smart, so you never have to feel broke again. You're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. I really hope these tips have inspired you to take a look at your own finances. It's a journey, not a race. Start with one small change, like tracking your spending for a week, and build from there. You've got this. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our future videos on living a richer life for less. I'd love to hear your own money-saving tips in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.